What's going on, guys? Top Tier Gaming here, and today I'm doing a Traptrix deck profile for the brand new TCG format. Yeah, it was a pretty wild ban list, not gonna lie. There are definitely a few decks that come to mind of becoming like very meta relevant that we have prepared for in this list. Obviously, the ban list is pretty new, but there are definitely some good like decks like you can think of that will be much more meta prevalent, and you can kind of prepare for them even though we don't know the format to its fullest extent. But this is a Traptrix list, and Traptrix, this is a very pure list. In the future I will have an Amazement list, and I've previously had Dogmatica Traptrix on the channel that you can go back and see. If you've been keeping up with the channel for a while, you know Traptrix is definitely a staple of mine, one of my favorite archetypes in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and I have played this deck a lot. And yeah, I'm super excited to show this list because I think it's pretty good, and especially with the decks that I'll explain as I'm doing the profile that I think could become very meta relevant, this list is definitely very powerful against those. So I will go through the card choices before I go into the list. Definitely check out the Discord and the Twitter down below, and feel free to subscribe if you like Traptrix or you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. We do have a lot of it, and definitely if you enjoy Traptrix, because I upload a lot of Traptrix content. So yeah. Before we go on to the list, people always ask to like see my sleeves because I don't really know why, but and then they always ask where it's from. I get these from ebay.com. It's nothing super crazy, but yeah, those are the sleeves that we are rocking. On to the main deck. So again, this is a pure Traptrix list, so we're going to start off with 3 Mermelio. Just the best starter overall because it gets you a normal trap hole from your deck to your hand, and then it also pops back row. Mermelio, she's just like generically the best Traptrix monster, arguably. And then we have 3 Traptrix Mantis. She is a Stratos, which Mantis actually got a huge boost in Lightning Overdrive because of the new main deck Traptrix monster. It gives another layer to Mantis as being just like a rank 4 play, which is very nice. But other than that, Mantis searches follow-ups in Dianaya and is just a super powerful Traptrix that gets you a +1 before you go into your Sarah. So definitely you want to max out on Mantis. And then I'm only playing 2 Dianaya. I've been between 2 and 3 of this in the past all the time, and that's before Vesiculo came out. Now that Vesiculo's out, I do think I want to keep Dianaya at 2 as a pretty standard number, because Mantis isn't always searching Dianaya now, and you can sort of use like Sarah to special summon this more, because if you search Vesiculo, you're not searching Dianaya. So you still want to play 2. She's your best follow-up. She makes her rank 4. Excellent card, probably one of the strongest Traptrix monsters because she is just like a monster reborn for your Traptrix monsters to make rank 4s, and resetting trap holes is a very, very powerful effect, and is one of the main reasons I actually use Dianaya, is I reset a lot of trap holes. And then I played 1 Vesiculo. I don't think you need more than her. Honestly, I want to call her Gina because that's what I've been calling her since she was revealed in Japan, and she was Gina Loa. Now she's Vesiculo. Definitely I prefer Gina, but yeah, she's a pretty good card. She's an extender in case like your first Traptrix summon like Mermelio gets Gamma'd. Very important to be able to like use this and then make Sarah anyways. But also with Mantis, you can just make her rank 4, super good. She has another effect where you can like banish her to reset trap holes, which is very nice for grind games and whatnot. Like this deck tries to go into a grind if it doesn't just instantly OTK on its 3rd turn. But yes, this is a very good card. It can proc Sarah. It's just very powerful. Definitely a good one of that you want to play just for Mantises as a rank 4. And then because this is pure, I'm playing 1 Atrax. A lot of different variants don't play this, like the Dogmatica version, I didn't really play it. And it's an option in the Amazement version, depends on your personal preference. But in pure Traptrix, I definitely want to play 1 Atrax because she is very powerful, especially at breaking boards. And yeah, Dragon Link is going to be, you know, hit. So the ability to break boards with like a card like Torrential in Atrax is slightly nerfed, but there's definitely still combo decks where that's very viable. Especially against cards like Herald of Perfection, right? So going into the extenders, the best part of the deck, we have 3 Parallel Exceed. This is, you know, you make a Link 1, Traptrix Sarah with any of your Traptrix monsters, you can special Parallel Exceed and make a rank 4. Most often Rafflesia, but you can kind of go into anything, and rank 4, there's a pretty good toolbox for rank 4 monsters that can pretty much handle almost any situation you need. And along with the 3 Parallel Exceed, we have 3 Shade Brigandine. This is the best like extender for Traptrix because Of course, most of you probably know this, but with Sarah, you play this first turn and you proc her effect. You essentially get Sarah, Rafflesia, and a trap card off like 2 cards, which starts your snowball like early, and then you just snowball into more advantage, and you just end up OTKing. Opening Myrmeleo Brigandine is one of the most bonkers openings. Opening Myrmeleo in one of each of these is absolutely insane. You can end up with some really crazy boards. And I've noticed a lot of people look at my Traptrix list and sometimes will say, like, you're running too many monsters. But honestly, one of the strongest things about Traptrix is not always the trap interrupts you have, but what monster interrupts you have. Like, if you have Sarah and then Rafflesia and Redoer, or like Rafflesia and Abyss Dweller, sometimes it doesn't matter what traps you have. And I just want to set up interruptions with monsters as well as traps so that you don't like lose to blow out Harpy's Feather Duster. A big thing about playing Traptrix is like playing and building your deck in a way where it doesn't straight up lose to backer destruction, and monster interruptions are really good at that. So yeah, the extenders are great and they're pretty much mandatory. Some people play 2 parallel. I don't think that's right, but I personally like 3. But if 2 works for you, then go ahead. On to hand traps, and what I like a lot about the pure version of Traptrix is I've taken out the Dogmatica package in this list, which means I get to play more flex spots like more hand traps. And this is where I start to talk about what I think is going to be really good this format. And to start off with hand traps, I'm playing 3 Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. I just picked up these Secret first. They look amazing. Glad I picked them up when I did, because Sky Striker is back, in my opinion. We have yet to see if they're going to be meta relevant and top things, but Engage is a crazy broken card. I don't want to play around with that. Phantasme has always been one of the best outs to Sky Striker. Mirage Dalio's back. I'm not personally thinking that Salad is going to be an amazing deck. I think it'll be maybe strong tier 2. But this is really good versus that. This is good versus like Shaddoll Invoked if they're going for Alistair plays and they make their Link 1. This is great versus Tri-Brigade because they're Link summoning a lot. There's a lot of decks that Link. The only card this is kind of iffy against is Drytron, which definitely feel like they'll be meta relevant. If people still want to play Dinosaur, this is pretty good versus Dinosaur. And the fact that you can play it, not like it's great once it's on board. But against Sky Striker, this card's all around amazing. And yeah, a lot of decks just Link. Adignister, this is pretty big, and Adignister looks like they could be pretty good. And yeah, Phantasme is just an amazing bonkers card, and it helps with cards like Parallel Exceed and other bricks where you can put them back to the bottom of your deck, and more importantly, draw more hand traps. So Phantasme, I think, is going to be great this format, and I'm just going to max him at 3 in this list, because he's also a body, which is super, super good for pure Traptrix, because they can have problems dealing damage, as opposed to like the Amazement version or the Dogmatica version, which has huge boss monsters. 3, Ash Blossom, pretty generic hand trap. I thought about playing this at a lesser quantity to play more options, but Ash is generically just the best, and while not like super impactful all the time, definitely you can't go wrong with 3 Ash, especially at the beginning of the format where you don't really know what's the best. 2 Bell, this card is amazing versus Tri-Brigade Revolt, and cards that would target your graveyard. It's pretty good versus Striker on Kagari, and when they're trying to hit you with, Shark Cannon. It's pretty good versus Shaddoll Invoked. It seems like this could be a powerhouse this format as well. It's amazing versus Drytron. And the same thing with DD Crow. I think DD Crow is secretly going to be one of the best hand traps of the format. It seems so powerful. You can hit Engage, you can hit Ray. It's great versus Salad. It's great versus Shaddoll Invoked, like you can hit an Invocation. It's great versus, what's another deck that could be good this format? Like, Dinosaurs have 1 Misk, banish their 1 Misk. It's great versus Eldritch if that's still relevant. I feel like with Striker in the format, it's kind of less good. It's pretty good versus Tri-Brigade. There are some times where you can like stop them from getting effects, like if they pitch Nerval for Karis as their play, and you chain DD Crow to Karis and hit the Nerval, they don't get their search. This is amazing versus Drytron. If Rat sends Ram and they make Chakanine, you can banish their target. DD Crow seems bonkers is what I'm saying for this format. So yeah, I think DD Crow, absolutely amazing. And this also means we are playing max rarity hand traps. This is the max rarity of hand traps. We have Ulti First Crows and Secret First Bells, and obviously max rarity Ash. So yeah, Ash only comes that rarity actually. Sorry about that, guys, for people who don't like this art of Ash. I'm sorry if I triggered anyone, but yeah, max rarity hand traps. So 10 hand traps means we're playing a lot of monsters, and sometimes people see that in Traptrix, and they get like, why aren't you playing more traps? And that's, again, like, you don't want to only have traps because you'll be blown out by Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, evenly match. Having a lot of hand traps, monster interrupts, and a lot of trap interrupts means your opponent has a much harder time dealing with your board. 3 Prosperity, this is almost irreplaceable in Traptrix because it can get you to your combo pieces. Like, if you don't open a Traptrix, obviously this gets you to a Traptrix monster. But even if you open a Traptrix monster, this can then dig for cards like Shade Brigandine and Parallel Exceeds and like Imperial Order that we run, and it's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy for the consistency of Traptrix. It's very hard to replace it for this list. And then I am still playing the one Double or Nothing because this card wins games and it's just super good. And you're running Phantasme, so you can put it back if you draw it. In Amazement, I'm considering not running it just because you have other ways to win the game, but Double or Nothing is the easiest OTK in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is super good, especially with cards like Gravedigger, Trap Hole, protecting you from cards like Ash Blossom. On to traps, we play 3 Strike because it is just one of the best trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Strike is bonkers, and I want to max it at 3. I didn't used to play this in some lists because it was a counter trap, and I wanted to play more normal traps, so I played things like Imperm over this. Imperm and Phantasme are kind of weird together, and Strike, again, is bonkers. There's not much reason to explain Strike. Oh gosh, I'm losing my cards. But along with Strike, we also have 3 Torrential, and these are, again, great for going second along with the hand trap. You can dominate boards with this. Strike's also great versus Drytron because it can save you from Herald of Ultimatist or Perfection, whichever version they're playing. They summon a monster, you Torrential, and then you can strike the Ultimatist if it negates. You do have to be careful with Torrential against Drytron, though, because it will miss timing on most of their cards, except for, I believe, Gamma. But yeah, Strike Torrential as a package, always super good. And most of the time, your Torrentials can't be negated, or they don't affect you at all if you have Rafflesia. So Torrential, just an absolutely amazing card in this deck. I choose to play 4 Trap Holes, which is 1 Floodgate, 1 Time Space Trap Hole, and double Gravedigger. I think Gravedigger is the best because it destroys Drytron. It's really good versus Sky Striker because you can hit Ray, while the other trap holes are kind of suboptimal. It's great versus just a lot of matchups and as well as hand traps. Gravedigger is super good, and the 2k damage is super impactful. Like, it's a great effect that it has on it. These are the 4 traps I choose to play. Time Space, the ability to hit links is very good, especially against Sky Striker, but also for things like Verte Anaconda. Dragoon is of course still here. If they make Verte, like they catch you slipping and they make Verte, you have Time Space instead of like 2 Floodgate. And 4 trap holes just gives you a little bit better of a grind than playing 3, which has kind of been my reason for playing 4. And then we have the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Imperial Order. Thank goodness they didn't hit this because they brought Sky Striker back. You need this to stop Strikers. So, but it's just an amazing card overall. It just can floodgate your opponent out of the game and you just win because you drew that card. So definitely going to play that. I believe the list is 41. Could be 42 because that's what I usually play, but I believe it's 41. Yeah, I should have counted before I did the profile. Hopefully it's not 39 or something. Extra deck, 2 Traptrix Sarah. I only play 2. You can play 3, especially since this is pure, but the extra deck space, in my opinion, is very tight. So I am opting to play 2 Sarah. She's the main card of the deck, and she is what you want to be getting to as quickly as possible so that you can play the game. Besides Sarah, we have 1 Link Spider for our Shade Brigandine. Very important to make sometimes, especially the games we open like Shade and Parallel, but no other play. You can like get somewhere at least. And then 1 of the new Traptrix Calaria. She's a really cool card. I've seen some people go into her more religiously when they're trying Traptrix for the first time. I don't think she's a card you want to be making super often. She feels very win more in some situations. She's a great snowball card, and she can help you set up for following turns, but I've seen people link off their Sarahs for Calaria and then not have a Sarah on board, which feels really bad to me. I would rather have Sarah than this card, but if you can get more extenders, like if you want to play double summon, that's a really good option. But yeah, if you get to more extenders and stuff and you want to make this afterwards, that's like cool, but Sarah is still the priority in my eyes, so be careful with this new toy. And then 1 Pentastag because we are playing Utopia Double and we run Floodgate Trap Hole, it just makes sense. And then 1 Boral Sword Dragon because it can end games and it's just another way to win the game besides Utopia Double. On to rank 4s, we have the 1 Rafflesia and the 1 Alamaris. So yeah, both of these are pretty self-explanatory. Rafflesia, just the main rank 4 you're going for because it protects your Sarah, gets trap holes from the deck, protects all your Traptrix monsters. Just overall a really great card. And then Alamaris can be an extender and pop cards or reset trap holes with the help of Dionaya or Mermelio. And yeah, just honestly super good to play at least 1 of each. Some builds don't play Alamaris, but I feel like she's been gaining popularity in Traptrix recently, so that's really cool to see. She's also great with Torrential because you can steal your opponent's monsters and stuff. Redoer, probably just the best rank 4 you can play in this deck that is generic. Because of Shade Brigandine, like it can be such a boss monster and end games on his own. I've won many games because of Redoer. He is a crazy good grind card and can steal resources. He's absolutely phenomenal. And then one Dweller. I mean, Drytroner in the format, you make this against Drytron, you might just win. Super impactful card. Good versus a lot of decks, but mostly like Drytron comes to mind first. If Salad becomes good or Salamangreat becomes good, then Dweller's great versus them as well. Then we are playing the Utopia double package because we want to win the game very swiftly, and you just steal games with this package. It's super, super good. And yes, I am playing Utopia double. Then a package that takes up a lot of slots and replace my Dogmatica package essentially. One of these is a proxy. You don't play 2 Borbo. This is Chalkanine, Zodiac Chalkanine, whichever one. You can flip this over, Zodiac Chalkanine, so people know I have 2 Borbo here. But the essentially is you just make Chalkanine, you overlay Borbo, you go into battle phase, and then you make Zeus. So Zeus, we're playing an Xyz deck essentially. It makes a lot of sense. Zeus is very powerful. You play Dark Ruler in the side deck, so you can blow up boards. Speaking of side deck, I will go through that very quickly. It is very locals dependent right now, and again, we're not quite sure how the format's going to pan out. I have put cards in here that I think could be good. 3 Nibiru. Yes, this card is pretty blowout versus a lot of decks. Very bad versus Sky Striker, very bad versus Invoke Dog, so I'm not maining it right now, even though it is a very impactful hand trap, but Prank Kids, like Adignister, Salamangreat, all those, like Nibiru is very, very good against. Then I have 2 Droll Unlock Bird, should matchups for it come up, like Invoke Dog and Drytron. 1 Pankratops, because he's just like one of the best blowout side deck cards you can have, nice in CR. Then spells, we're running 3 Dark Ruler because we are playing the Zeus package, and of course going second, you want to be able to play Ghost second. You're pretty much a grind deck, so you don't really care if you don't do damage for a turn. You're going to play the longer game and try to win by out-advantaging your opponent and then setting up a position to OTK with like double or something like that. And Dark Ruler is just really great at going second. Harpy's Feather Duster for back row decks, but that is not all. I'm also siding to Heavy Storm Duster, which is something I have not sided in a quick minute, but Mystic Mine in Sky Striker doesn't sound fun, along with just like it being a normal trap to do stuff like that. It's just really great versus Striker and control matchups in general. So it's not a bad form of back row destruction. I'm playing it over something like Cosmic or Twin Twister, but I guess that is very personal choice. I don't know if you guys can even see these, but that's what we're doing. And then 3 anti-spell because Sky Striker are scary. So yeah, that concludes the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you have any suggestions, again, I'll look at those too, because it is the start of a new format. Who knows what's going to be like the best, but this is what I think is pretty good for what I'm theorying to be like pretty meta relevant. Again, Sky Striker could end up doing nothing, and I talked about them a lot, but I really feel like with 2 Engage, at my locals at least, they're going to be a problem. So, yep, that was the list. I hope you guys did enjoy. Feel free to subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.